All right, here we go. Let's start with the evens. All right, let's start with the evens. All right, again, making the translation. All right, don't forget, what is your clue that you're going to put down a variable? So it'd be what percent in math. Of means what? Of means what?
Of means
All right, listen. I understand, guys. There's going to be distractions occasionally. That's why you're not supposed to lean back in your chair, number one. And number two, the rest of us are old enough and wise enough and mature enough to ignore the distractions. It really, I mean, I've seen many people fall down. It's not something brand new. All right, get to work. Of in math means to do what? Multiply by what? 50. Now, is your clue for equals 36. All right. Now, keep in mind, you're looking for a percent. All right. So now to solve this equation, I'm doing what? Bless you. Dividing. Exactly. Divide by 50. Divide by 50. So n is equal to 36 divided by 50, I think, is 0.72. But because they're asking for a percent, we're going to say that is 72%. Now's the time to speak up. Everybody feeling good about that? All right, I agree. Very easy. All right, so let's take a look now at number 4. Again, strictly working on the translations. Some kids in my last class said, can I set it up as a proportion? And I don't care if you set it up as a proportion. But I tried to tell you we're moving forward towards algebra, so I like an equation. All right, I like an equation. So your translation is just 16. It's all right. Is means, again, equals 25%. 0.25 times n. All right, same exact principle. So again, in order to undo the multiplication, we have to do what? We have to divide. Divide by 0.25, divide by 0.25. So n, perfect, guys. Again, now I tried to tell some people in the last class also, don't just write down 64 because I have 64 on the board. Or you say, well, I'm going to use a calculator so I'd get 64 anyway. I don't care about that. You have to physically do it. You type in on your calculator 16 divided by 0.25. That's what you're doing. All right? Do not assume anything is correct up here. All right? Now let's take a look at number 6. 9 out of 43 campers prefer swimming more than any other activity. So, what percent prefer swimming? All right, so first we can write as a fraction, Will, which would be?
9 over 43.
Beautiful. And then convert that, so?
So would you divide
That's right, exactly.
and you get, like,
Point?
0.209.
Keep going, 0.293.
0.293.
All right, perfect. Again, we don't need that, but I just laid that out to show you. In the correct or in the directions, it says round to the nearest tenth. Now, it's rounding to the nearest tenth of a percent. So when you move the decimal 2 places, it would be 29.32326. That's what you're actually physically rounding. What's the matter?
I got 12093.
Oh, okay. That's what he said, I'm sure. I just didn't write it. All right. So let me just slide that over. That was my fault. Should be 0 there. That's all.
And there should also be
I gotcha.
0.20930.
Yeah, okay.
Perfect.
Thank you. All right, so now we have that as 20.9302, whatever, 326. It doesn't matter after that. All right. So now because we're rounding to the nearest tenth, again, remember, we're looking at the 9. All right. So does that stay 9 or does it move up? Stays. I think it stays 9. Do you agree? Because we actually are looking, we'd have to look at the what? We'd look at the 3 to determine if that goes up or not. Because it's a what? Less than 5, it stays the same. So we're going to have what? 20.9%. 20.9%. Everybody feel good about that? All right, here we go. Let's do it again. All right. Now, again, some people in last class, because this is a little bit different, they didn't know how to do it. All right, you're going to come up with some different problems, but that still means you have to understand what we're doing. Who pays tax? Does the consumer or does the business? The person buying, that's who the consumer is. All right? So if something is going to cost $29 and you have to pay 6.25% tax, all right, what percent of the computer do you have to pay? What percent of the $29 do you have to pay? No, you have to pay what? You have to pay 100%. You have to pay 100%. Then you have to say it again now. Now you have to add what?
6.
Yes, you're going to have to add 6.25% to the price.
Oh, right.
So that means you're going to have to pay what? 106.25. That's what I want you to have down. All right? And I want you to make that special note to yourself. Is everybody okay with that?
Yeah.
All right? So now, what was the 100%? $29, right? So now I have to multiply that by what? Nope.
Oh.
By,
1.0.
say it, that's right, 1.25. All right, you're going to multiply 29 times 1.0625, but you also have to round to the nearest penny. So get in the habit, look in your calculator, and round that to the nearest penny, which is $30.81. Now, please do not take his word for it. Type it in on your calculator and double check and verify. Everybody happy with that? Any questions? All righty. So here we go. So let's do number 10. I want everybody to read it real quick. All right, go ahead, tell me. Now listen, read me the question though. Go ahead, listen, because this one is a good question. Hey, listen, what you need? Go ahead. Well, I'll let you come up here and borrow one. All right, don't interrupt me though. Go.
Okay, suit for sales tax is 7% on the purchase. How much sales tax is being?
So now we have an issue. Are we interested in the total cost? Or are we interested in the tax? Just the tax. Doesn't say what's the total bill. It says how much is this tax. All right. So again, now adjust your thinking. What do you think I have to do, Caroline? I'm not sure why you're thinking you subtract percentages. This says this is what you see in the store. It's $130. You know you have to pay 7% tax. Let me help her out. If you have to pay 7% tax, what do I have to do? Will, do you think? To one of those. But what am I, Ben? Plus what? Okay, so now this is what I'm trying to tell you, Ben. Listen carefully. Are we interested in the total bill or are we interested in just the tax? So do I have to add it? And the answer is no. Right, look, guys, all I want you to do is I want you to take $130. Come on, girls. I want you to take $130 and you're going to multiply that by 0.07. That's $9.10. Now, Ben, do you understand why I didn't multiply by 1.07? Because most kids have trouble with this. Miles, why did I not multiply by 1.07? Or why did I just multiply by 0.07?
All that you want is the sales tax.
All you want is the sales tax. I'm not interested in the total bill this time. Somebody hearing me? That's why I say you got to read carefully. All I'm interested in is the what, guys? The tax. That's all I'm interested in is the tax. Right? All I care about is the tax. Is everybody with me on this? Tell me.
Well, I'm sorry.
Don't be sorry. Okay.
Well, it was just, on number 8, well, I'll just ask you.
No, ask me now. On number what?
On number 8.
The difference.
The 30, how you got that? Did you just add it?
You did this time they wanted the what? Look, in comparison, this time they wanted the what? The total cost. I'm okay with this. So we did 100% plus the 6.25%. You with me? So you had to pay what? 106.25%. Yes, I combined the percentages. Because when you buy something, you have to pay 100%. Okay? Now, over here on number 10, I am only interested in what the tax was. So that's why I didn't add the 100% plus the 7%. Right, Caroline? All right. So let's take a look at number 12. Hold up for a second. All right. It says, find the selling price. Now, again, you have to read carefully or you're going to make a mistake. Lander, what are you thinking? Number 12. Yep.
Okay, so it's 48 times 1.65.
Right, because 48 times 1.65, because it was a markup of what? 65%. You with me? So this was what? 100% plus the what? 65%. We want what we're selling it for, not the markup. Thank you very much. So if I do 48 times 1.65, we're going to sell that painting for how much?
79.7.
Well,
76.
$79 and 7 cents or 70? I didn't hear. Well, what is it? Is it 0.07 or is it 7? 70? All right. Is everybody okay with that being 70 cents?
I got 79. I got 79. I got 79.
Oh, I just wrote it without the bar.
Well, come on. So that's what I'm trying to figure out. I want to make sure you know. All right. When we're rounding, when we're talking about money, we got to get it to the nearest penny.
Yeah.
All right. So what is it? 79 point. What again? 20. $79.20. Is everybody happy with that? Good? All righty. Let's keep going. Now, do me a favor. Put omit next to 13. That'll be on Monday, probably. All right. I accidentally included it. So, again, we're going to learn about interest. All right? So, here we go. 14, please. Here we go. Again, writing the equation is important. So, we have 48 means what? Equals. What percent is our unknown? Of means to do what? By.
80.
There you go, guys. So now somebody tell me what 48 divided by 80 is. Yes, now I want to make sure you understand. Tomorrow I don't want you, or on Thursday I don't want you to make a mistake and accidentally put down what? 0.6. It's asking for a percent, so it'll be 60%. You okay with that, Will? Good. All right, here we go. Let's check out 16. Allison, what am I doing on 16? What am I multiplying?
18
Times 72? Yes, but the first thing is, listen, Allison, I want you to translate it for me. What does what mean? Well, that when they say what, the first thing that comes to mind when they ask the question is the variable. Right? So when somebody says what, you're going to put down n. Is, Allison, always means what? There you go. Now, how do I write 72%? That's correct. 0.72. Of in math means multiply by 18. So do that real quick and tell me what the answer is. 12.96. Exactly. Is it asking for a percent? You see what I mean? That's a very good question.
Okay, because that's I had done, because at first I forgot to put points into it.
That's exactly right. Exactly. All right. You always have to go back to the question, are they asking for a percent or not? All right. Go ahead, read it real quick and tell me.
15 students taking the state assessment exam forgot their calculator. Of the 250 students taking the exam, what percent forgot their calculator?
So it would be what?
So would you do, so would you start off with what percent forgot? Or
Nope, I would just want
what
you to just
percent
know
of-
what this is.
So would
Right.
you do n?
So listen to me, listen to me. No. Again, listen, sometimes I don't do a very good job with this part. So listen, remember, to find a percent, it's always part to whole. It's always part to whole. So what part forgot? What would it be?
15.
15. What's the whole?
250.
See, to me, that's just the easiest way to do these problems.
Okay.
Percent to whole, or part to whole, part to whole, part to whole. That's always what a percent is. All right, now, this isn't exactly 15% because it's not out of what? It's not out of 100. So again, all you do is you translate 15 out of 250 into a decimal, which is
0.6.
point what?
Yeah, 0.06.
Come on.
That was just
0.06,
6%.
which is the same as 6%.
Actually, I did it
You can do it the other way. I'm totally agreeing
Okay.
with you. But do you understand what I'm trying to tell you? I think it's easy. When somebody says 15 out of 250, I'm not writing an equation. I already know it's 15 divided by what? 250, and I'm on my way. You with me on this? All right? Part to whole, part to whole, part to whole. All right? That's the easiest explanation for that. All right? Just like this right off the bat. 10% of 110. You don't need a calculator for that. Since we're taking 10%, I just have to move the decimal what? Once. You move it once. 1% is moving it what? Twice. All right? So, again, listen. Mentally, we're trying to figure this out without using a calculator. We're trying to figure this out without using a calculator. So 10% of 110 would just be what? 11. 10% of 110 would just be 11. Does anybody have any questions with that? All right? Now, for 30%, the easiest way, in my opinion, to find 30% is to first find what? 10%. And then multiply that by 3. So, if I say 10%, 10% would be what?
6.5.
6.5. Speak up, guys. Don't be shy. 10% is 6.5. And then I need 30%, so I multiply that by 3. And that's pretty good mental math. 30%, 6 times 3 is 18. You have 3 cents, you have $1.50. So that would be 19.5. 19.5. Is everybody okay with that?
Yeah.
Right? All right. I also wouldn't mind if you just said, well, I don't feel like doing the math, so I'm going to do 70. 30% of 70.
Oh, yeah.
Right? 30% of 70 would be easier. That would just be 21. And you're close enough. All right. Is everybody good with that? Any questions? Mentally is important. All right. Understanding the numbers. But you got to speak up now. Everybody good? All right. Let's check out 24. All right. Now we're estimating. So 73% is really close to what percent? 75. Now, 75% also meant the same as what fraction? 3/4. So that's what you want. So you change that to 3/4 times, times 120. Now, if you're going to do that in your head, you would say 120 divided by 4, which is? What's 12 divided by 4? 3. So it'd be 30. And then 30 times 3 is what again in the back? 90. Now again, I'm trying to make sure you understand. It's no good if I'm writing down 90 and all you're doing is writing down 90 and have no clue how I got 90. If you're not sure, now's the time. Speak up. We got another day to review. So again, the first thing we always do is we always do 120 divided by 4. What's 120 divided by 4? 30. And then you multiply by 3. You with me? All right, so anytime you do a fraction, divide first. Yeah, divide first and then multiply by the numerator. All right, very important. All right, so now here's what I was talking about. This is similar now. We're getting into similar problems now. So again, I'm hoping you can understand this real quick. 21 out of 200 were defective. So what's the quickest way? You should, go ahead, Catherine, tell me what's the quickest way. No, I know, you're telling me because this was the one you missed.
The quickest way is part over whole.
Which is?
So that would be 21 over 200.
There you go, 21 over 200. That's what I want. 21 over 200. You should have been able to look at that and say it's obviously 10.5%. See why? Right, because it's out of 100, right? So if you have 200, divide that by 2. And what's 21 divided by 2? 10.5.
Okay.
You with me?
Yeah.
So again, I'm just trying to show you little shortcuts there, but that doesn't really matter because you have your calculator. 21 divided by 200 is 0.105, which is the same as 10.5%. Carla, are you with me today? Everything's good for you? Perfect? No questions? I'm doing that good today? Wow, amazing. All right. Wow. All right, here we go. Now, again, this is a repeated question. If you understand what we did on the last tax problem, this should be easy for you. All right? Hunter, what are we doing?
Okay, so Mark purchases a lamp for $140. Sales tax is 6%. So,
What do we do?
you would put in 140
Put 140.
times 0.06.
You are awesome. Times 0.06. That is equal to the tax because that's what they're asking. Very, very important. They're only asking for the tax, not the total bill. So, Hunter, what was that answer? $8.40. Thank you very much. Miles, are you okay with that? Do you have a question?
I had a question on a different one, but I think I figured out what.
All right, good, good, good. All right. All right, let's go. We still got some time. All right, so let's talk about question number 30. Now, again, this is important. All right. So again, all right, this is kind of mental math. All right. So you read me number 30 real quick. I don't care who that means. Go.
So what I do, I would do $56.50 times 0.20.
Yes, yes. Now listen to me. Here's what I want you to do next, though. A lot of times when you're out to dinner, you don't want to multiply 56, 50.
Yeah.
So you just round it. Stop. Let him. So we're going to round. So we just change $56 probably to what?
You're at like dinner, probably
Yeah.
$60.
$60, right? And then you're going to do 20% of that. Look how much easier it is now. Because 10% would be $6. So 20% would be, shh, you're interrupting.
About $12.
About $12. Beautiful. There you have it. Is everybody okay with that?
Yes.
Now, of course, you have a calculator. I'm trying to make sure you understand. Calculator's not what we need. All right, this is mentally. What are you doing? You're taking 10% of 60 and then doubling it because you want 20%. Is everybody okay with that? Does everybody know how to do 15%? How would I make that 15%? What would be the quickest way to make, let's say I didn't want to leave 20%, I want to leave 15%. So what would that be?
Oh, you're trying to see what 5%. Oh, so you could just get 10% and divide it by 2.
Yes, hear what he just said. 15% is 10%, and then divide that by 2. So what was half of $6?
$3.
And then $6 and $3 makes, that's what 15% would be. All right, that's the easiest way to do that. All right, here we go. 32. Hanson, what do we got for 32?
Dr. Dave has 24 animals to see today in the veterinarian's office. And these animals for $200. So what you said? Oh my god. So you gotta do oh
That's okay. Part to whole, remember.
so it's 24
Is the what? Part of the whole.
the whole
That's right. So what's the part?
15.
Right. So you understand what I'm saying, right?
Yeah.
That's super, super important. All right, part to whole. How many dogs are there?
So there's $15
Out of how many?
out of 24.
Come on, that's super important. All right, so tell me what decimal that is. I'm waiting.
0.625.
Which is what percent?
62.5.
Beautiful, 62.5%. All right, hopefully you feel like you have a good understanding of percentages. All right, very important. Very important. All right, here we go. Uh-oh. What is the percent of, what is the discount? Now, that is just like trying to find the percent of increase or the percent of decrease. So what am I doing for this? What do I do?
15.9 subtracted by 270.
Exactly. So everybody do that. 329 minus 279 because it's the change. Remember, it's the change divided by the what? Original. The change divided by the original. Right? Right. So 50 divided by 329. Or it's 0.152, right? Which is the same as about 15.2%. Everybody okay with that, guys? I think that's a little bit of everything. All right, I think that's a little bit of everything. The change. You went from 329 to 279, so we subtracted. All right. All right, yeah, let's just do a couple more problems. I think if we do 36, 38, and 40, we'll call it a day. All right, here we go. Now, this is old information. Yep. So it says, at the same time, a 50-foot cell phone tower casts a 32-foot shadow. So we're going to have a fraction here. 50 is the actual what? Tower. And 32 is the what? Shadow. Now, notice I'm writing it out. Now, the next one says it has a what? 20-foot shadow. So where does that go? On the bottom. Does everybody remember that? So the 20, which would make what at the top? N or X or whatever else. Now from there we have to do what? Cross multiply. Does everybody agree? So it would be 32N is equal to 1,000. Which would be what? 31.25. Okay? Everybody good? Come on, concentrate. A few more. All right? Now I'm looking at 38. All right, so I need an equation on 38. Cole, go ahead.
So 1.25.
Good.
And then divided.
Wait a minute. Is means what?
It means equals. So
Equals.
equals 112. N. Okay, so.
Hold up. I want to make sure that's correct. You understand what I'm saying or not up here? Because you kind of weren't. You with me? Multiplying. Is means equals. What percent is your variable? Of means multiply by 112. Agreed?
Mm-hmm.
Now what do?
So you do 1.25 divided by
Good job.
112.
Yep. And what's that? Come out on your calculator. Read it out. You're right. It's small.
I didn't.
Come on.
.0116.
Okay. So what percent is that about? Remember, you always move the decimal twice, right?
1%.
Yeah. But we could say like 1.1%. How did I know it was close to 1%? Because this number down here is close to 100. Does that make sense, right? Close to 100. All right? And last one for today. The human body is made up of 9.3% hydrogen. What is the amount of hydrogen in pounds of a person who weighs 140 pounds? What do you think? Tell me. And do what?
Put 9.3
9.3 over 100 is equal to?
N or X.
Yep. Yes, that's exactly correct. You can do that. Everybody see that? Because again, 140 represents the total. Does everybody agree? And the 100 represents the total. The numerator represents the parts. So now when you cross multiply, 100n is equal to?
13.03. Oh wait, I just did.
I know. So it'd be a 1302, right? And then we divide by 100, so n is equal to what? 13.02 what, though? 13.02 pounds. All right. Now, again, remember what I'm trying to tell you guys. Study a little bit tonight. Study before you go out or before you play around. All right, especially those guys who want to do better on the next test. Thursday. We're going to finish up the review tomorrow in class. All right, I already gave out from my last class, we already discussed 1 through 41, it looks like. And we made it actually down to 47. All right, so do as much as you can. All right, then tomorrow we'll finish up. Right now, continue on. All right, continue on.